So this weekend's Showdown contest was just announced a couple hours ago, and I figured I would sit down and take a look and find some obtainable characters that will help everybody through both the solo and the faction um, part of the contests. And I've come up with four that I think are going to be really good, and I'll touch base on a couple of other ones. Okay. Over here on the right hand side of your screen here, I've got the solo contest that's going to be break blue and break multiply gems. And then everything else is like do damage with Hulk Hogan, do damage with New Gen, damage with Legends, and damage with the $1 Million Corporation. And then there's the faction side of the contest. It's going to be break black gems, break trap gems, and break multis. Full disclosure, I think there's going to be one card that's going to be able to take care of all of this, except for the do damage with these guys right here. All right. And I'll get to that card here in a second. So the way I've decided to organize this is actually through the damage of the individual categories here, right? So the first one I want to talk about is Hulk Hogan. I think the most available Hulk Hogan that's out there is Hollywood Hogan. And that's cool because he has an infinite, quite frankly. And his infinite is powered from the NWO is born moment. Specifically, moves that generate all color gems will create 10 more all color gems, and then matching all color gems charge moves that color by two more move points. So he's a built-in Trick Hogan into this moment itself. I do have a video about this setup in Showdown, but it uses previous Showdown perks that are no longer available. I will link that into the description below. Additionally, is all color gems do 200% more damage, which also helps. This particular setup, I really like the Hogan plate for him. Whenever you break 20 or more gems, increase your red gem damage by 200% for 2 turns. We're going to keep looping this. This is actually not a turn 2 plate. It's just whenever you break 20 or more gems, it generally does pin. So this doesn't trigger until the second turn because of the pin. But we're going to be utilizing 100% gem damage trap if you're E3s. But we're going to be utilizing one move. Oops, wrong button. The low blow. Choose 5 gems to make it a red, and the pin bar will not move. All right. We're going to be generating significantly more than just 5 because of this right here. And I will show this off to you. The entourage is all based around matching black gems, charge moves of that color by 2 more move points. Right, this is very important. And then for the tour, I do have black MP loaded up. Okay. If you choose the Money in the Bank where you get 1 extra black MP, you can swap this Hogan out for another charge moves of that color by X number of move points instead of Santa. And I think Elias is the guy you'd want right here. That's going to make the infinite a lot more smooth. With having to use this many MP trainers, the infinite is a little less consistent. But with a little bit of thought, you can still make this work. This should allow you to knock out the Hulk damage in one go around, and it will get you a lot of break black as well. So we're just going to use this move here, and we're going to find all of our black gems, and we're just, quite frankly, going to try to isolate them as much as possible. Shoot, let's just try to get them all. Let's see how this works. There we go. We can see whether we are reloaded. I'm going to try to do it again. You don't have to place all the reds. Really, the key is making as many black matches as you can. You're going to break enough gems to keep charging up the Hogan plate fairly often. And again, the entire goal is just isolate as many black gems as you can and get them to drop to make matches. And you just keep going. Fortunately, it's Showdown. You're going to be able to do this often, right? There's no time constraint in Showdown. You're just going to keep going as much as you can. But hopefully this shows off exactly how the infinite works. You can keep doing it as many times you have black gems on the board and you can isolate them. And then when you get to a point where you feel like you've done enough damage, you hit this decrease move and you hit the finish. Obviously, you want tier 6 metals on this to give yourself a little bit more gem defense, especially since your opponent's probably going to be running tier 6 as well. But this is going to be one of the first ones I do when I'm at very low Showdown notoriety. And you can see that on tour, it works just fine. Okay, so that takes care of the Hogan requirement. It's also going to break you a lot of black gems. And unfortunately, that's going to be kind of it for that. Going into Legends, Legends is actually going to be kind of difficult. I could not find a very good, like a no-brainer Legends card for this. So if you go up here to Legends, and I don't have the largest roster in the world, but the idea here is to try to find the most accessible cards. This Hogan obviously will work for multiplied gems and damage and break blue and break black, depending on how you have him set up. But I know not everybody has this Hogan. Andre will do multiplied gems for you and do legends. But I think the most consistent is going to be Ricky Steamboat with this setup right here. You're going to make columns of multis. You're going to make rows of multis. And then you're going to put a 2x2 area kind of in the middle. And then you're going to blow up both of these rows. It's relatively low MP, so you can load up with MP trainers for damage, or maybe even cross break trainers, and run that way. And I think Ricky Steamboat might actually be one of the best for legends, just to break other multis. And then obviously it's going to break black and it's going to break blue, just for the sake of being random on the board, right? This is kind of a rainbow break situation. So Ricky Steamboat may be the most obtainable. And he also has this: multiply gems increase are generated from moves will increase their strength by 1, and gems do 25% more damage. Yay! Uh, I'm not sure if it really helps that much, but there it is. Steamboat is going to be one of the guys that I think is going to help out with the requirements the most in Legends. Other than that, really just pick your best Legend era, do the damage, and get out. Rocky 76 is a stun loop card. He will be able to help in the faction tasks. He's not really going to help with multi unless you got a drip plate. If you got a drip plate, do you really need my help? Maybe you do. New Gen I skipped over for a reason. Damage $1 Million Corporation. This is super hard. Super hard. And I can't actually come up with a really great answer for this one. Unless you have King Kong Bundy, which is the weekend card, essentially. He is $1 Million Corporation, and he's a Legend era, but not all of us are going to have that. The second best is actually Striker Bam Bam Bigelow, and I know that not all of us have him either. The third best card is going to be Tatanka, of all things. And he will help a little bit here with this move set. But it is kind of a quirky move set. Full disclosure. All right. Um, you do kind of have to hope. Here's the entourage. You're just going to boost multiply gems. You need to have red loaded, and you're going to have to hope for a little bit of board luck because you want a 3 match and a 5 swipe. 3 match to get the neck breaker loaded, and then the 5 swipe to get the diving chop loaded. So it's highly cascade prone. Sometimes the board's not going to cooperate with you, but he is going to be able to do damage as the $1 million corporation. And he is going to break multiply gems, which is going to help with both the solo and the faction tasks. This is about the best entourage I can come up with, unless you have Leo. Leo obviously is going to help better than Zombie Chelsea in this particular setup. Also, this moment, the 1995 tag team tournament moment, multiplied gems increased or will be increased by 3, and then red gems do significantly more damage. Moves that generate all colored gems will help as well. And then red moves, a little bit of damage is okay. All right. So I think, honestly, Tatanka, we might see a lot of him. I think a lot of people are going to get some value out of him because damage from $1 million corporation is not going to be the easiest thing to get this weekend. And in fact, based on all of these tasks, in my opinion, this is the hardest one, unless you have Striker Bam Bam or if you have Bundy already. And then last is the new gen requirement right here. And this is a card that most of us have. And he's going to cover everything. I think if you can set him up this way, he's going to be your workhorse because he does a lot of really good stuff for you. All right. Moveset is going to be, wrong button. Moveset is going to be belly to back suplex to choose 5 to make into blue, and that's what's going to load here. And then you're going to make a bunch of trap gems, and then you're going to blow the trap gems up into black gems. And when these trap gems blow up, they're going to make 4 randos into blue gems. All right. If you have a trap 8 plate and either a blue or a black Royal Rumble, you're going to be set. I still have him set up for move damage because I believe in his move damage as well, but that literally will take care of blue gems, multi gems, black gems, trap gems, and then again multi gems. And he will do new gen. I really think that this is, at least for me, this is the card that is going to knock out most of my tasks and should do it relatively easily and relatively quickly. Moment here doesn't help him a ton. It will increase, no, it won't, because that is generated from plates. It'll do a little bit more damage for blues and give him a little bit of survivability in case you don't KO turn 1. And then his gear just gives him a little bit more damage. Right? So those are the 4 that I think take care of this the best as far as obtainable cards. I know there's better Hulk Hogan's. I know there's better new gens. You know, I even said that you got to find the best legendary you got really to take care of that one, and better hope you got a good one here. But there's some others, especially for this, like Ozzy is going to be fantastic for trap gems and black gems. I think he's going to do a lot of good work there. And he's great in Showdown anyway because he's low MP. And then anybody else who just breaks a lot of multiply gems is going to be fine for you too. Gunther would be just fine. I know he's not. Donatello is going to be great for multiply gems. Andy's new gen. so that will help. And he was relatively obtainable. I think a lot of people have him. This is an older card, Hall of Fame Macho. Doesn't help with any of the requirements here, but you'll break some multis and you'll break some blues, right? You're going to be able to sprinkle in a bunch of those guys, but the four I talked about, I think, are going to be the most efficient. And then it's Showdown. Put in your best team and go to town. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. If you've learned anything today, if you've been entertained by anything today, or if you just happen to like the sound of my voice, do me a favor, click like, click subscribe, share to your faction mates, and I'll talk to you next time. Late.